with with the lighting. It's so dark. It's so dark. And I bought a new lamp. Decorated to have the light come in, and it's still dark. It's still dark. Um, this is the phenomenology of Neptune. The way I have my hair, I look like a crazy person that just came out of an institution. It's very Neptune, very Neptune. Okay, uh, the genius and magic of Neptune, it's in the hair. As subtle as it is, not many people know this, but Neptune and the human hair is extremely important, extremely significant. Uranus also is associated with human hair, but in a different degree than Neptune. Both planets can promote insanity, hysteria, and aloof aloofness or elusiveness. Both terms. The ancients considered Neptune and Uranus because they knew that they existed long before science did and understood the mythology of these planets. These are transcendental planets. And their mythology is just as tragic as the actual mundane delineation of them in a birth chart. However, we don't know much about it. We don't know much, and I mentioned this in the prior videos. We don't know much, if anything at all, about Neptune or Uranus, which will follow. But it is a part of the human condition. It didn't make its consciousness available to humans until much later. Humans were still pretty primitive, pretty nascent, and these planets have higher octave intelligences that would have destroyed early humanity had they been discovered much earlier. So, the universe, hey, how you doing? Morning. What's your name? Maricha, and Rithi. Good morning. But understand that now versus before, these planets are making their consciousness known in the human collective. And yes, they have to be integrated into the fabric of humanity. The day to day. You know, uh, how does that work? How does that work? We don't know much of anything of these planets. Astrologers in those days did not know that they existed. And even if they did, What are they going to write about that's going to make sense as far as the mundane collective? What does it mean to have Neptune in the first house? Is it the same as having Neptune in Aries, the ruler of the first house? Will it have an influence on the planet Mars, which rules the first house and Aries? How is this aspect or series of aspects integrated into the personality? The one will say, "Oh, yes, yes, I got Neptune into my first house, so it makes sense that I will be going through this X, Y, and Z." I mean, ideally, that's the goal, but it's still too new, too recent, and it will be almost impossible for an astrologer, because only an astrologer can do this, decode these planets and what they mean, and how do we use it in our day-to-day mundane existence. I'm the only astrologer in the country that's attempting to do this, or in the world, because I don't have astrologers all over the world that want to engage in this. There is none. So your uncle is the only one. Um, and to understand Neptune in the houses will require years and years of observation, research, interviewing tons of people that have similar signatures in their charts, and then maybe get an understanding, a cognitive understanding of how the energies of these planets work in the birth chart. Now, this is something that's not of interest to scientists because they don't believe in this kind of stuff. But as astrologer, now you see, now I just saw on the chat that they're gonna hold my video. They're not gonna show my video. They're gonna put it for review because I'm discussing something that uh, the politics that be don't want me to talk about. So I have to go to Patreon and do it. I can't do it on open YouTube. I just got the notification that it's going to be held and it will not be seen because of what I'm talking about. But I'm going to talk about it anyway. Okay. Neptune in the fourth house is deep. It's deep. But I'm pretty sure that Neptune in the third, second, fourth, fifth is equally as deep. The question becomes, what will be the angle or relativity viewpoint that you will take in understanding Neptune? And can you correlate it to your daily mundane life? That's the challenge. Neptune in the fourth house rules the origin of the country, the United States. The fourth house is Cancer, belongs to Cancer. And so we have to look at the sign Cancer. The fourth house rules foundations, talking mundanely, it rules foundations, the origins of things, the origin of life, which is Cancer, cardinal water, where everything came from, is governed also by this house, the fourth house. I did a video on the fourth house and also on Cancer. I won't duplicate it here. So look at those videos. I talk about all kinds of strange phenomenon that occurs when one has a highly pronounced Neptune in the fourth house, or a highly pronounced Neptune period, because it is just as effectual in the first house as it would be in the fourth house. But in the fourth house, we have a particular anomaly. I have to say that because the fourth house rules genetic growths and conditions that are very difficult to define. There's no way to knowing for sure, and there's no way of putting together a synthesis that may allow us to understand how to put it together. So there's a lot here that is very complex when it comes to the outer planets. Neptune, Uranus, and don't forget Pluto, which was recently discovered in 1930. So there's a lot that we don't know, that we don't understand, and it's going to take a team of astrologers that are good at empirical research and can research these positions in the charts of people. And that'll cost a fortune to do this. So we are in the infancy stages of trying to figure out the mundane workings of these planets. Now, Neptune in the fourth house is, I have been able to decode. Hold on, let me see if I can put this here. Oh, it's gonna turn. I have to hold it. And I can't find a stand for the phone to save my life out here. Anyway, that's how the ball rolls or the cookie crumbles. What else can I say? Neptune rules diseases. Diseases that are difficult to diagnose. Schizophrenia, mental aberrations have been known to be associated with Neptune. The mythology points to that as well. But does it really in real life? Does Neptune in the fourth house or in the first house cause mental aberrations or insanity or can lead to that direction? Because obviously there'll be other parameters that will push this notion as being true. And we don't have those parameters. So we cannot be sure. But I will tell you this, I have encountered people with birth charts in the fourth house. And they have been real deep clairvoyants, psychics. And I'm not talking about reading the tarot cards. I'm talking about if I look at you, I can tell everything about you. From the beginning of your birth to now, I can see it in its trajectory, timeline. That strong psychic ability of the highest order, usually attributed to high priests back in the ancient world. Nobody was able to see things like that unless you were walking right with the Creator, like Moses, Aaron, Ezekiel, Enoch. It's Neptune rules that type of caliber of third eye, which is seen in every monument in Egypt. They really make a point to stress that. So if we're going to go with the ancient world, Neptune plays a very important role in third eye seeing. Yeah, it does. One of the um, diseases that Neptune seems to rule. It's not out on judgment yet, but seems to rule. The disease of cancer. The disease of cancer. Understand that the fourth house rules the bloodline, the generational lines, both royal and non-royal. So diseases that are unfamiliar, undiagnosed, or there's no cure for belongs to the fourth house of cancer because it is the origin of all origins, including diseases and stuff like that. With Neptune here, there is a strange, almost impossible way to figure out or decode what this cancer is. It eludes us, it runs away from us. There are people who get cancer aggressively and die aggressively. And then there are those that get it, become spiritual, which is Neptune, and then the cancer goes on remission or disappears. So there's a correlation between spirituality and the actual manifestation of the disease of cancer. But the scientific community they cannot do research on this because they don't believe in that kind of stuff. So it's hard to be taken seriously by the science or medical community about this. It will have to be us, astrologers, and compile data, lots of data, that will show that this is a distinct possibility. So, those of you who have a very strong Neptune in the fourth house, understand that your lineage comes from greatness, but that greatness might not be necessarily something that we can look to or understand here on the planet, because you might have blood that is from other planets, other systems, and you came here with that. To do what with it? The question remains. The question remains. You can talk more about this on my chat, Fernando at Gmail, and we can talk more about it. Okay. I don't think this video will be seen, but thank you.